everyone. Welcome to the Podcast Must Go On, a podcast where we interview your favorite creators in the theater industry. My name is Haley. Oops.
And my name's Damian.
And would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi guys. I'm Mariah Rose Faith. Nice to see ya.
Okay, we'll start with Starkid, I guess.
Cool. Do you want to just know about Starkid?
Yeah, can you just give us like a little description?
Yeah, awesome. So, again, my name is Mariah Rose Faith. Most recently, I was playing Regina George in the Broadway National Tour of Mean Girls. And I'm also a part of Team Starkid, which is an internet theater company. They also do stuff in person, but they put most of their shows online. Yeah, so I joined Starkid in 2018, where I auditioned for their show, The Guy Didn't Like Musicals. And I was cast in that. I was fortunate enough to do that, and I got an audition opportunity because I had worked with Jamie, Jeff, and Dylan on a show called Starry, which is about Vincent van Gogh and his brother Theo and kind of their community of artists. So yeah, so I got involved in Starkid, and I got to do Starkid Homecoming with them, their 10-year anniversary, which was super special and super cool. Um, I was going to do Black Friday, but then I got cast in Mean Girls, so that didn't happen. But most recently, I'm in their online productions of Nightmare Time right now, which is like short stories that they're doing that are very spooky based. They take place in the same Hatchetfield universe as Guiding Like Musicals took place in. So I've gotten to revisit some characters that I played before, which is really cool. And hopefully I'll be able to do in-person stuff with them again once everything calms down and hopefully things line up, all that fun stuff.
What was like the moment in Starkid where you were like, wow, like this is amazing, or like a moment like backstage that you just like really enjoyed?
Oh yeah, no, that's a great question. I think Starkid, the whirlwind of it that I never really expected was kind of like their fan base. I didn't realize how passionate they all were, and it was really cool. And I think as soon as I got like fan art of me, I was like, okay, this is real. This is I'm a part of something bigger than myself, and it's just kind of a really cool, thankful thing to be a part of it. In terms of like the show, it was just also just wild to hear how loud audiences got. Cause we had like gosh, I'm throwing out a random number here, but like a 200 seat theater, like around of that size, so pretty small. Um, I swear they get as loud as Broadway theaters, like those audiences. I just have never seen anything like it before. So I think like for me, it was just like, wow, like I just said, I'm a part of something really big, and I'm just happy to be here. Like I don't even want to process it. I feel like it would be too much for my brain. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna enjoy every second of it and live and love on these amazing people and these amazing creatives, because it's just always great to be a part of that kind of community.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
watched a little bit of it yesterday and a little today, and I was watching it and I really like horror type of
Oh, cool.
musicals.
Yeah.
So I was like reading like the description. It was like a comedy slash horror or musical, and I was like, this looks amazing. And so I watched it, and I was so shocked the entire time. It was so good.
Oh, I'm so glad. Yeah, it's definitely for you then. They've been really journeying to that side of it, where those more horror musicals, and I think because the writers Nick and Matt Lang, they love horror. And so I think they've been wanting to do something like this for a long time, and not just parody, not just comedy, but kind of like blend that together, which I think is a really cool thing when you do it right and merge it right.
Mhm.
And they've done pretty well so far.
Should we move into Mean Girls?
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know,
Or
Damian, what
do
do you
you
think?
have any questions?
I think my mom had a question.
Yes, mom.
She wrote them down. Hold on, it's hard to read her handwriting. Okay.
I relate.
So, she wanted to know what was your favorite venue for Mean Girls?
Ooh, that's a great question. I mean, actually, it's a really hard question. Now that I sit in it, I love Chicago, but mainly just because we were there for 5 weeks, so it kind of felt like it was our second home for a little while. It was my first time rooming with Galen, and we really hit it off over the holidays, and we had just a lot of laughs together. And I was right across from MK, and just kind of like down the hall from everybody, so I could just kind of like knock on doors and be like, "Hi!" Everyone was so close, which was awesome. I really liked Boston a lot too. I don't remember too much about the backstage in Boston. Oh yes, I did. I did have my own. I had my own dressing room in Boston, and that was like really nice. I think it was the first time I had the star dressing room, which usually Danny gets, rightfully so. The role of Katie, give that girl a star dressing room. But I had it for like the first time, and I had a couch in my dressing room, and I was by myself. And I think it was nice because at that part of the tour, we were about like 5 months in. I was starting to get a little tired. It was right before I had a week off. And I laid on that couch a lot and drank my ginger ale to help my tummy. So yeah, probably Boston and Chicago. I really liked, but I mean, Buffalo, where we started, like that was also just
Yes.
really special. Yeah, just because it was like our beginning. It's how it all started out, and the venue was huge. Like there was a huge theater, and that was really cool. And Megan and I were like kind of had tandem dressing rooms with rolly chairs. And I've posted TikToks and videos of this, but we would just like roll down the halls all the time to see everybody, but in the rolling chairs of like, hey, how's it going? And we would all kind of do that. So that was really cool too. Those ones. But yeah, good question, Mom.
What was the best part about touring with specifically a Broadway show?
I say this a lot, but really because it's just so true. It's just the people, like the family that you build from your company that you're a part of, because it's really just like you guys are all each other has, you know?
Mhm.
So hopefully we all get along. But thank God with Mean Girls, like there was just never drama. There was never anything. There was nobody that didn't like anybody. Like it was really just, we all just loved each other. Um, so that was really special, and I think just so fortunate. I mean, we still have our giant group company text that we talk in all the time. There's like a bunch of people talking in it right now as we speak. Because we just miss each other. We love on each other. Me and Megan and Jonalyn still have our plastics group chat that we talk in every day.
Aw.
It just has formed this family, and like it's yeah, even the other day we had like a plastics panel on Double Name Witches, which is MK and Gina Claire's like acting studio. And it was like the first time in months that I had seen that we had like all been on a video chat together. And it was truly like the first moments I felt like I was just started crying. Like it was just like I
Same.
felt myself tearing up, and MK was saying it too. And I was like, yeah, like I just like I just felt such a surge of emotion just seeing them. And I think, like, for me, of course, traveling and getting to go to places I've never been to before was amazing. But, like, the thing that I'll take away is just I have, like, a new family that will, like, be with me forever. So, oh, I'm, like, crying right now. It's too
I'm
early
gonna
to cry.
cry, girl.
I know. I'm like, it's like noon. I'm, like, crying already. I gotta get it together. Sorry. But, yeah,
No,
the
you're fine.
people, for sure.
How was the Mean Girls thing with the Double Name Witches? I couldn't
Oh my
go.
God.
It looked
It was
amazing.
amazing. It was so fun. It was like I'm already thinking about like, oh my God, if those two ever have me back, I would love to teach with them because I feel like we have very similar like teaching styles and like what we're going for with students and people. And it was just like, which didn't surprise me because it's like when you're close to people in real life and you love them in real life, you line up in so many different ways. But yeah, it was cool to see my friends teach and work with other people, and then there was such young talent that were so amazing. Every time I see like a 13-year-old just belt something out, I also cry because I'm just like, oh my God, I'm so proud of you. I care about you so much. And then I see MK and Gina Claire like also getting emotional over these kids. And I was just like, dang, we are all one big sappy family that just wants to see success in individuals, like in our friends and the people we care about. So it was really cool. I'm glad that they had us on. It was really special.
I really wish I could have gone. Damian, you went, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw you in there, Damian,
No, you
at one
didn't.
point.
You didn't see anything.
I did. I'm sure. Hopefully, we get to do it again. I'm sure we'll want to. It was a really good turnout. So we'll see.
Um, was there ever a moment in Mean Girls that touched your heart or like truly changed your perspective on theater or like Mean Girls in general?
Oh my gosh, yes, absolutely. I think, and this is something that I did the Broadway Plus like Regina panel with Taylor and Renee, and I think something that we all kind of touched on was just like stepping into a role like this, like Regina, where she craves perfection, she craves power and idolization and all of these things. It uh it's emotionally and mentally very draining as a human, and I really just never thought about that before going in, and it, oh my god, did it make me feel better knowing the other two went through that as well. But I've always known, big roles like that, they have a lot of weight to them, of course. Like, I've been acting my whole life. But I just don't think I've ever stepped into something that really affected me that deeply and was kind of a mind game. And it made me realize, like, continuing as an actor and continuing stepping into big meaty roles, you have to be in a good center within yourself. A good, just like find that positive balance. Going off of that though, like, the another thing that Mean Girls did, because it's a big ensemble cast. It's a huge cast of people, and it also just showed what power there is in a team. So yes, you're like alone playing this role, but if you have like a big cast of people and a big company of people that are surrounding you, you're not the only one in this universe. You have people to build off of. You have people to work off of that are there to lift you up as you are to lift up other people. But it was hard, and it will be, I think it'll be easier once we eventually go back stepping into that role again, because I've had a lot of time to process the things that it negatively did to me and the things that it positively did for me. Like, positively, it made me feel fierce walking in heels. It made me feel fierce, like getting lifted, being in an elevator, and belting at the top of my lungs. It made me insecure sometimes of like how I looked in costumes. It made me insecure about what people thought of me, like in the audience. But what can you do with that? That's the job you sign up for. And I think it just takes a little time for it to process within yourself. Luckily, I've had 7 months to process it now. I feel very processed. But yeah, probably that was kind of, I talked in circles a little bit, but hopefully that made sense of just kind of takeaways from that role and the weight of it all.
Made perfect sense.
Okay, thank God.
If you could go back to opening night and tell yourself something, what would it be?
Well, you know what, guys? I'm gonna be real too. I don't even remember opening night. I don't remember. I think just because it was such a blur of adrenaline and excitement that I really don't even remember it. But I think if I could tell myself at the beginning of like this run anything, it would just be to don't overthink, just have fun. You've been cast in this for a reason. You do a great job. You're going to grow and get better. You're not going to just stay in this place, enjoy it while it lasts, because there's going to be this global pandemic that hits and it's going to take you away from everything. So live in it as much as you can and try your best not to overthink and overanalyze every choice you make on stage. And just, yeah, remember why you love it every single night, not the reasons that stress you out. Don't dwell on those as much. That's what I would tell myself, I think.
That
And also,
was
you look
so
fierce.
Sweet. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh, but yeah,
I cry.
let's all cry. It's the cry session here today.
Yes.
Girl, if you don't remember opening night, I do. It's fine.
Okay, good.
I'll tell you all about it.
Good. Yes, I know you were there. But yeah, it's just all, but I think because there was like preview night too, which I remember more, but it technically wasn't opening night. And so there's like a lot of like, I don't know. I remember my dad being there. And I remember at one point, we had to hold the show because the doors wouldn't open for Meet the Plastics. I think
Wait,
that was preview.
That one?
Yes, I think that was
Yeah,
preview.
I remember
I've seen that video
Yeah.
on TikTok.
And all of us, I remember we were just kind of like, hello? back behind the thing, and I had a full-on laugh attack, and Megan and Jonathan were so serious, and they were like, and I was just like, like, I was just like, of course. I think that was our second preview. I know for a fact. So that was like technically our second show in front of an audience. Yes. So I think our show after that was our opening, for real opening night. Maybe. who's to say? But
I think so, because yeah, there was like,
right?
yeah, that was the
right.
second. That was the second time I saw it, and So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, let's say that. Wow. Actually, memory, not too bad. Not as bad as I thought. But yeah, that was crazy. And also too because I told my dad, he was like, "Oh, you're still in previews. Like, what does that mean?" I was like, "Well, if there's like a tech thing that happens, we might have to hold the show." And I'm like, "But nothing happened yesterday, and nothing's happened in tech, so we should be fine." And then of course that happens, and I just thought of my dad in the audience, and I was like, "Well," but he's like so happy he has that memory. He was like, "It was so crazy. Everyone just stopped, and then they like rewound in place. It was like Harry Potter." And I'm like, "Yeah, I guess." So there was
That's
that.
hilarious. This is kind of a question about like Regina George. Like, how do you interpret her based on like compared to how Renee Rapp or Taylor Louderman like interprets?
Well, the good thing is when I was cast in this, I had never seen the show and I had never watched a bootleg. So I really was just like, I didn't take anybody else's performance to like my brain. And then I saw Taylor do it live and I was like, oh, that's very different from me. uh, like, what do I, like, they really chose me. But, I think they chose all three of us and cast all three of us because we were different. And I think, not just because of us, but we're working with different casts of people at the time too. And so it's whatever fits among the other people. Where I think like my Regina, like from Casey, our director, and I've talked about this a lot, but she really just became like that person where everything she thinks she's doing is a joke and we're all in on it. And if you take it too seriously, then you're a crybaby and that's on you. That's not my fault. Kind of that energy. I think she did merge a little bit into a bra girl, which I just kind of think happened because like, honestly, like I live with a 16, 17-year-old and I see how his friends are. And it was just kind of like, that's what I see in high school right now is like that, like, I don't care energy. Like, sorry, dude. Like that's what I see. We tried at one point in rehearsals, like making me talk in a higher pitch voice. They hated it. Also, because it's not what I did during my auditions either. I talked very like, wait, why don't I know you? Like that instead of like, wait, why don't I know you? And it was like, as soon as I did that, they were like, no, that's you being like more of what Taylor does so naturally. But like, I don't do that naturally. And I think they just wanted to do something different with Regina. And they were like, well, how could we do a different Regina? I know, we cast Mariah Rose Faith, which really is like, in my opinion, and Casey's kind of talked about this too, it's like casting a Janice as a Regina. Because that's who I am in real life. And Renee in a lot of ways too, but different from me. And so I think that was kind of that development, which also makes sense because Janice and Regina were best friends. Obviously, they had things in common. Obviously, they were really similar. And so this is just kind of like that fake transcendent off of that. So if you get people who are really like that in real life, I think you can add a really good layer onto it. So yeah, that's how it worked.
That was wow. Just wow. I don't even know what to say.
Oh.
Also, I didn't know that your brother and I are the same age. That kind of blows my mind.
He's 17. He just turned 17 in September.
Wow.
So he's a little baby. Some people either think that he's 14 or 20, and I'm like right in the middle. Actually. So yes.
Okay, well, okay, this is kind of we're talking about TikTok now. What do you have
Great.
like a favorite TikTok song or trend at the moment?
Okay. So me and my best friend Paul Gabriel, he works on Starkid. We lived together for a few years and he's still like my best friend. We will just sing to each other like terribly. We'll be like, I'm not a Disney, they trick me, like off key. I'm wishing on a shooting star. That one gets stuck in my head. I love oh my God, what's his name? He's that one guy who pretends to be a Republican with all the hats. Have you seen him? And he charges at the camera and he's like, some people want to turn around. Have you seen him at all?
I have.
Oh my God. He's so fun. He's like angry Republican. That's his like character, and it's he kills me every time. Is there another trend that I really like? I still love that one sound that's like, if you see me fight in the forest with a grizzly bear, help the bear.
I love that.
That's still my favorite. God, and then the other one that's like, the I was bored, so I ruined lunch. And I had fun doing it. That one too is also really
I
great.
feel like
Those
there's a
are
lot of like remixes of that. Like,
yes, there's a
pretty
lot.
sure there is.
There's also one that's happening right now that's a Starkid one, and it's from Holy Musical Batman, and they're saying like I forget what they sing like da 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 da, and he's like I want to be a modern dancer, and he's like what a super weird thing to say that came out of nowhere. Yeah, so those are my friends, so that makes me happy too that that's a trend.
The line that you say in the guy who didn't like musicals, the one like the vocal rest one, that was a
Oh,
trend I think last year, and I didn't know
really?
about Stark. Yeah, it was. I didn't know about Starkid then, and so I was like saying it everywhere, and I was like, I'm on vocal rest.
Oh my
And
god. And
then I watched it yesterday, and I was like, that's what that's from?
it's
Oh my
me.
gosh. Yeah,
I didn't
I
know
was
I
like,
was a trend.
whoa.
Every time I have to, I make a cup of tea with honey. I always quote that.
You have to. You have to. I always still think it's so weird because, like, I'll give people advice sometimes, and whenever I'm like, oh, I have to tell them vocal rest, I know that they're going to be like, I'm on vocal rest. And I'm like, but it's actually healthy for you to go on it. I know it's a meme, but it's good for you. But yeah, oh my God, I didn't know that that was a. I
It
mean, it
was
doesn't
pretty
surprise me.
big for a while. It was like
Wow.
right around the like Heather's trend.
Oh, yes, I know
Yeah,
exactly what that is actually, because that lasted for a while.
that
And then
was
I was like, do they even know what Heather's is? Like that always makes me feel that way with like musical theater stuff. Like even with Little Miss Perfect, like that was trending, and I was like, do they know that this is theater? Like, but then it's
exactly.
also like transcended through different fandoms, so I can
Yeah.
understand that. But yeah, I'm always like, it's theater, boys and girls, and not binary friends. It's theater.
I saw a TikTok a while ago that was like, all of these sounds that you guys are using, they're theater songs. You all are theater kids. And I was like, I mean,
Sorry to
you're
break it
not
to you.
wrong.
Yeah, literally.
Okay, kind of going back to Mean Girls, I was gonna ask this before and I forgot. How do you prepare mentally, like, and physically and like vocally for a show or a week of shows?
Yeah, I think like Tuesday is always going to be a little like, all right, we're back in action because we get Monday off. Um, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, you're cruising. You're living life. Everything's great. Your voice is still feeling good. But if you overdo it on those days, by the time you get to the 4 show weekend, you will die. So it's very, excuse me, it's very crucial to like not push yourself too hard during the week, and just get a lot of rest, get a lot of mental rest, not just physical rest. Watch going out as much as you want to hang out with your best friends on tour. Sometimes you got to pick and choose the things that you do. I always was like, I'll do whatever during the day, like whatever during the day. And then as long as I get like an hour and a half before the show to just decompress, then we're good. But at nighttime after the show, very rarely would I go do something. Usually it was like Sunday night, I would always do something because we'd either travel the next day or we'd have a day off, and like it was great. But yeah, I think like it's important to eat well, hydrate like crazy, depending on allergies. Like Flonase was my best friend. Raw honey from certain areas. Anything that I could just like conquer my allergies for. But at the beginning of tour, I got like 2 sinus infections
Oh my gosh.
at different times, just because like I've never dealt with that before traveling the country so rapidly, and my allergies just couldn't handle it. I get sick during like this time of year anyway. It's just like I don't know, just my internal
I
clock of going
feel
your
it.
due. But yeah, I was stupid. I was like still doing the shows when I should have definitely not done the shows, until I maybe got COVID in January, and then I was out for like 6 shows or something crazy like that. And And English was like, I'm so tired. I'm so glad you're back. And I was like, it's hard being Regina all week. It's really hard.
We love
Um,
English.
so that was also kind of good for me too, of like talking to her and Olivia once like I came back from my week break, and they were like, we're so glad you're back. We're so tired. And it's like, I'm glad to know, like, yes, this role is exhausting. And also you don't get to go home to your own bed. You know, like you're in a hotel bed or an Airbnb bed, or you're sharing a room with somebody, and it's like it's very different. So rest in any way that is right for you and what helps you. I bought a lot of candles, and that's kind of what I would do a lot before shows, is like play my Switch in my room and just like lay with candles on. And then I'd be like, okay, time to go be mean. So that was fun.
Do you have any like rituals or specific warm-ups you do right before the show?
We all do during Where Do You Belong, we as the Plastics, we kind of warm up with the song. I also warm up with It Roars. So whoever's on for Katie that night, usually Danny, I sing It Roars with her as like my warm up song. I also do like just little sirens, like wah, or like yeah, just to open myself up in any way. If I really feel like my voice needs like warming up, like I wake up and I'm dry and I'm just like, oh God, like she's sleepy today, I'll play guitar before I go to the theater, and I'll just kind of like sing just fun acoustic stuff. This meeting has been upgraded by the host. Ooh, exciting. Sorry, I just got
I
that
saw that
notification.
too.
I didn't do it. I don't know.
but
I didn't either.
I don't. Hello, anyone? It's spooky Halloween, so you never know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I play like guitar. Any like easy song that I like to sing, I always say that's a really good warm up for people. Is like sing stuff that's not hard on your voice, just to like wake you up and get you into the feel. And like sirens, that's what I feel are like the unbeatable combo.
We asked this question in our last podcast, but I think it's like really important, so I'm gonna ask it again. Do you feel like the industry takes steps to not ask too much to the singers and protect their voices, or does that responsibility fall on the performers?
I think it falls on the company that you're in with the show. The industry itself, I don't particularly think they care all that much. And I'll say it because I'll say whatever. You guys know me. But the people at the tip top of the industry, right? They just want to make money. And they, in a lot of ways, we are there. We want to make money too, but we don't do this to make money. We do this because we love it. And thankfully with Mean Girls, we have a very good team of people that are like, are you okay tonight? How does your voice feel? Or I noticed this was happening. You seem a little this. Mark this note tonight, or take the night off. Like people who are paying attention to you, and you're like usually your music directors and your company managers and your stage managers. Those are the ones, especially on tour, and especially when a show opens, your director is not hanging out in the theater anymore. Like the show opens and they're like, hasta la vista. But yeah, our associate director, Casey Hushin, will come and visit, and she'll do the same thing with Broadway too. Usually they're the one that checks in more than your regular director. But yeah, I think it really depends on the company that you're working with, because I have heard rumors of shows, and of course I won't. Are you drinking a ginger ale? Yes, sorry, Damon's drinking a ginger ale. And I love ginger ale. It's my saving grace.
It's the only pop I can have now.
Yeah.
'Cause I have so many cavities.
Oh my God, really? I'm so sorry. That sucks. But anyway, yeah, I think it just depends on your team of people who are looking out for you, because not naming shows, but I have heard rumors of shows where it's like, yeah, that person's voice just totally died and they weren't taking care of it, and they just wanted them to be on all the time.
Oh my God.
So yeah, it's hard because it is a business, and so I think, but at the same time, like as a performer, you can't just be blowing out your voice. Like you also do have a responsibility. It's part of your job to take care of that. So I think the industry could do a little bit more, but at the same time, I do get why a lot of the responsibility is on the performer, because it's like, it's your body. So who knows it better than you,
Mm-hmm. I kind of just thought of this off the top of my head. If you didn't post like your cover singing, was it World Burn?
Mm-hmm.
Thing? Do you think you still would have auditioned for Mean Girls, or?
Um, I don't know because at the time I was doing a lot in LA. I had no like I mean, I knew Mean Girls, like, stuff was probably happening over there, and they were probably going to replace Taylor soon because I was like, okay, her contract's starting to go up. And then, like, I heard about the tour, but I had, like, no desire, like, not no desire, but I didn't even think about the tour of, like, a possibility for me until I was in the Regina pool of people already, and then they were like, oh, we want you to come in for a tour, too. And I was like, oh, I would love to do that. Like, not until it was even asked of me was I like, oh my gosh, I would love to do it. But I don't know because I was doing a lot of like film and TV auditions at the time, and I was like really deep into Starkid, and yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm so thankful that it did and it happened the way that it did. But I would like to say, hopefully, that our paths would have crossed at some point, or I would have gotten some like LA callback for it because they had one of my callbacks was in LA, so hopefully I would have still gone to that. But yeah, I don't know. Oh,
Girl, can I just say how different my life would have been if you were not Regina?
me too.
Like, if any one of you in the cast were not in it, I would just like.
Oh my God, I know. I think about that sometimes because it's like, here's the thing, like, of course, like, all of us are so talented, but we live in a world of very talented people. Like, there's a bunch of so many other amazing people could have played Regina, you know? But it all happened truly in my heart of hearts, like, meant to be for a reason. Because how we all sync together, too.
I love all of you so much.
Oh, dude, so
It's
do
like
I.
perfect.
Yeah, it really is perfect. Like, it just makes sense. It just
You all like
fully makes
fit
sense.
together like a puzzle.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like all the stars aligned, truly meant to be. So, yeah, I don't know. It feels crazy to think in some universe maybe we're not all in Mean Girls together, but I'm glad I'm in this universe, this timeline where it is all true because I wouldn't want to be anywhere else for sure.
Was there like a moment where you knew like this, like as in like theater is what you want to do, like after high school or college?
Yeah, so in high school, I was doing theater again. I had actually taken like a long break. I was doing it a lot, and I was like, oh, I definitely want to keep doing this. In college, I was going to school for film, so very different. But I was still doing theater. And it was like this consistent thing still happening as I was like pursuing this other life. Um, Basically, what happened was I went and saw Wicked again for like the fourth time. Something like
Yes.
that. Yes, Wicked.
Love it.
With my family, and it was the first time my dad had ever seen it, which was a magical experience. Oh my God, he was so obsessed. He was literally just like looking up, like, wow. And we were like third row too, so it was everything to him.
Oh wow.
But I'm in the theater, and the show starts, and I just start sobbing, like fully. I just start sobbing. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And I'm like holding it in. You know when you're like crying and you're like just trying not to get the people next to you to see that you're crying? It was that. And I was like, I don't know what's going on. I'm not on my period right now. Like it was like, why am I having a breakdown? All of a sudden Defying Gravity happens, and it was, oh my God, who was playing? Jackie Burns was playing Elphaba. And it was Cara Lindsay as Glinda. So dream team.
Yes.
Jackie Burns is up there singing Defying Gravity. At this point, I am loud sobbing, like, and I don't know what's going on. And my mom walks with me to the bathroom because, of course, I have to pee during intermission. And she's like, are you okay? And I was like, Mom, I think I need to do theater. Like, I think I really need to stop just, like, doing it casually. And, like, and at that point, I think I'd already done Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals. Like, I'm, like, in it. Like, I'm getting paid to do stuff professionally. I've done so much stuff. And I'm like, I really need to just let go and push and pursue it. And so I left film school. Literally a month after I left film school, I got my first call for Mean Girls. So it was like, as soon as I just surrendered to, like, doing it, it was like every opportunity was just like, finally, Mariah, you finally want to do theater. Like, we're going to give you these opportunities. And I worked my butt off and I pushed so hard. And it was just, yeah, it was truly like magical. I will never forget. that performance
can I
wicked.
just say that seeing you guys in Mean Girls the very first time, that same feeling for me.
Really?
Like truly, like honestly, and I've told MK this, like her performance like made me realize Janice is my dream role.
Yes.
It's just like
I love that. Damian, that I can't even tell you how happy that makes me. Like, because I mean, you know, when you felt it in the theater, to think that a show you're doing could do that for someone else. And that's like what on a bad day, when you're like, I don't want to sing tonight, I'm in my feelings, I'm drained. I always just go, someone in the audience tonight is going to realize this is what they love to do because of the show that you're about to perform. And it just like snaps you out of it because you remember being that person. And it's a huge deal. And it's a really powerful and incredible thing. So I'm so glad that you had that. Haley, do you do theater too?
I do, but I haven't seen like a Broadway show or any tour yet. But I do it
That's
at
okay.
school and like in community theaters around my.
That's amazing. I hadn't seen my first Broadway show until I was 23 years old. So I'd never even been to New York until my Mean Girls callback. So hey, you never know. That's awesome. I'm so glad.
I'm
And
gonna get emotional.
I know, God, the most emotional podcast I've done. I think just because like I can tell, you know, how much you guys care about this too, and it just like I don't know, when you're on that same wavelength with people, sometimes the feels just come a rushing. So yeah.
I'm getting so off topic. I'm just having a conversation
okay.
now, like forgetting that we're doing a
Oh,
podcast.
this is perfect. I like this
Good.
better.
Yeah.
Like
Just hanging out.
just hanging out with my friends, you know?
Oh yeah. Just chilling.
Yes.
Just me and my friends. I love
Because
every second of it.
Because I don't like want to get emotional, but like every time I've seen Mean Girls, I'm like, oh my god, is this the last time I'm gonna see them? Is this it? And then it's not, because
Yeah. I know. It's not. It's not.
you
And
know,
I think
when
like
I saw you guys in Cleveland, and I was like, oh my god, and then you weren't on as Regina. Like I literally,
I wasn't on.
yeah, you probably don't even remember.
Oh my god,
It was
yeah,
in
no, I had a
Cleveland.
day.
Yeah,
I had a day off. Yeah.
it was after the Rock Around the Pole.
I know exactly when you're talking. I know that exact day. Yeah, I took a
Are you
personal
kidding
day.
me? The day I'm coming to see,
So sorry.
English still killed it. So
Yes. Oh my god. English is fierce.
of course.
Yeah, she's fantastic. I love her more than anything. I'm so glad, like that's another thing, like having like teammates like that, like who are you share the role. You know, it's like I'm not the only Regina. It's like I do this job, I do this role with English and Olivia, and it's like who better? In my opinion, I just love those girls. Ew, I'm literally feeling the tears coming again. I love them, you know, and we're so crazy different, the three of us, and it's just like this amazing thing where it's like I've heard people, everyone I know who I've taught, there's like, oh, I came to see you. Most of the time it was in Tampa because I had that whole week off. And I remember Megan being like, Mariah, our craziest audience was in Tampa and you missed it. And I was like, you know what? I'm glad I did because like Olivia and English got to go on for this amazing group of audiences. I've had 200 shows. You know, it's like good for them. I'm glad that they're getting these like great audiences when they get to go on. Because those are my girls. Those are my teammates. Like I wouldn't do this. I couldn't do this without them. Yeah. So absolute queens. But yes, we will be back. I know there was a second where I was just like, am I coming back to Mean Girls? Like, is this going to happen? Like, it just felt I was so depressed and so sad and grieving like 2 months ago. And now it's kind of come to that point, like, yes, so many shows have been canceled, but it's almost gotten canceled far enough now where I'm like, wow, I'll get to do California, which is like not all that I wanted by any means, but there's something very special to go and do your hometown.
I can't wait.
And I was like, I just wanted like my family to come. Because not everybody got to see. Yeah. Wait, where do you live, Haley?
I live in Northern California.
Well, San Francisco. Hopefully it can happen.
I know. I'm like, for my birthday,
we'll all be able to do it. And Damian, just fly out. Just come hang.
Casually, yeah.
Just casually fly out. No, but at least where we look right now, like we'll be on the East Coast. We'll have opportunities for people again. It's gonna happen and it's gonna be okay. But
I'll walk if I have to.
Yes, walk. Forrest Gump did it. You could do it.
I was so crazy because, like, I think one positive thing about COVID
Mm-hmm.
is that I'm getting connected with a bunch of people that I never expected to be
Right.
connected to.
And this.
And so many like people within the cast, within your cast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just like getting to work with MK all these months. And
No, it's special. I feel like a lot of us have thought that too. Like for me, like, oh my God, like if I wouldn't have had this opportunity to like teach, I don't know what I would have done. I feel like it's changed my life in this most positive way to just, I don't know, be there rooting for people and helping them grow in any way that I can, to where it's like, whoa, this has become like, I'm not on unemployment anymore. This is my full time job, teaching, something that I absolutely love to do. And I get messages all the time that are like, are you going to stop teaching when you go back to Mean Girls? And it's like, of course not. Like, will I be teaching less? Yeah. But like, of course not, because I love it so much. So that has like, I hear you. There's been, amidst the sadness and amidst the loss that has happened, there's been a lot of new wonderful things and a lot of new relationships that have been formed. And I've seen it not just with myself, but with so many people who have just like, yeah, found new connections virtually. And it's been really dang cool. Really, really cool.
yeah, I feel like it's like crazy because I'm having all these opportunities like personally. And yeah, which I mean I kind of have a question that is kind of related to it. So like what advice would you have for somebody who, you know, wants to be in Mean Girls?
Yeah, that's a good. No, it's an awesome
Selfish
question.
question, but
No, it's great. It's find songs that fit that genre of the show, that are pop, rock, and fun. Get to know the characters, which I think, like, going off of you, you definitely have. And get to know like what those layers are. It's not just like, oh, these archetypes, because none of them are. They're real people, in a real universe that has been built. Um, and it's just, I mean, it's really just keep working on it. Keep always look up to date with open calls with any sort of thing. Yes, we love to see it. We
manifesting.
manifest it. Yes, that's what I did. And it happened. Yes. Oh my God. Yes. That's what matters. Keep that goal. Don't stop working. Don't get. I mean, this is truly me, but it's worked my whole life. Is don't get lazy. Don't slack. Like, and that doesn't mean you can't take breaks for yourself. If you're like, oh my God, I'm burnt out. Take a week. Don't do anything, but come back after that week with, okay, how am I going to be productive? How am I going to improve? Like yesterday, even, this is how I live my life. I had a lesson, somebody that didn't show up because they mixed up times, and I waited for 20 minutes, and I was like, okay, they're not showing up. It'll get figured out. And in that like 40 minutes left, I went, okay, what do I have to do on my to-do list that are all these things that I have promised? I have these responsibilities. It's like, you take that and you don't go, I'm going to sit for 40 minutes. You go, I'm going to do these other things that lead and help my career. So it's finding that time of like, well, I've already scheduled an hour to work, so I'm keeping that hour to work. And it's really putting that on yourself. And this goes to not just Mean Girls, but to be on Broadway, to have the career, like professional career in this industry. It's all about the hustle. And
yeah, it's discouraging sometimes because like obviously like Janice is like a role that's portrayed and like they always cast like women and like I guess like I just assume like mostly straight women. I mean, we have MK, God bless,
right, thank God.
But like I guess this is like a coming out now, but I love to be like the first non-binary and lesbian.
Yes.
I never said that out loud.
Yes,
Janice.
you did.
Janice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because I just feel like she should be played by someone who is a lesbian.
Oh, I fully agree.
I'm shaking.
I'm so proud of you. You are an absolute rock star, but I feel that way. And if you ever doubt it, this is just my vocal confirmation, okay? Seriously. But I agree. I think within this industry, within Broadway, there's a lot of confinements that have been built for a very long time that are very old hat that should not be in place anymore. I don't give a crap about gender. Like, it's like, I don't really feel like that should determine much of casting,
I
gender identity
agree.
by any means. I think sexuality should come into play if you are going to be playing a role with a determined sexuality. I think in a lot of ways that connects to the idea of, like, rightfully so, we are like, oh, don't whitewash a role. Well, don't straight wash a role either. I think it's, I mean, I've preached about this a lot and I have a lot of opinions. And thank God that most of the actors within the community feel the same way I do. We feel very passionately about it. And I think things are changing. And once Broadway does come back, it's going to be a very different Broadway. And I think a more progressive Broadway that cares about these voices. And if they don't, we'll make them hear, because the actors now very much care. I don't care about getting fired from a job because I stood up for somebody else's rights or my own rights. Like, that's who I am. And I think most of us are starting to realize, like, we need to fight and not have the fear of being blacklisted or the fear of not having our jobs anymore. It's like, what's more important, humanity or this one role? It's like there will always be roles. So yes, I think this is exciting for you guys because you guys are younger than me. But when Broadway does come back, I think luckily you'll be coming back to an industry that's developing in a very good way, in a very positive way. So, I mean, fingers crossed. But you have people like me and most of this Mean Girls cast who also feel the same. So, yeah. I do have to get going. Do we have any last questions about anything?
I don't think so.
I think
Haley,
that's
do you have
all.
any?
Amazing. Well,
I'm gonna go cry after this.
oh, I'm probably gonna cry too.
I'm like
Um,
still shaking. I can't believe I said that out loud. Okay, sorry.
I have to
you
go back to
are.
school.
I am honored that you said it in front of me. So thank you. Thank you for
I think
feeling.
you're the first person I've told out loud.
Oh, well, Haley and I are here, and we adore you.
Yes.
So just know
And
you're
I
in
love
the
you. I love you
place.
both. Oh my god.
Oh, we love you. This is amazing. You guys, thank you for having me, and good
Thank
luck
you
on your
for having me.
podcast and your show and the rest of your fun quarantine, okay?
Thank you
you
so
for
much
letting
for
us.
joining us. Like, it was my
Absolutely.
favorite so far.
Oh my God. Well, an honor to me. So thank you. I'm going to head out, but I love you guys, and I'll talk
I
soon,
love you.
okay?
I love you. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.